thanks. Like, hey, Scoob, did you hear Nikki Blake is hosting a Scooby-Doo panel? No. Yeah. Like on today's Scooby-Doo episode, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy meet Nikki Blake. Yeah, in a Scooby Panel. Like, we need to get this puppy started. Okay, Nikki Blake, take it away, Scooby-Doo.
Welcome to the Scooby Panel. I'm Nikki Blake.
I'm Wendy BRYDGE.
And I'm Cameron Bates.
And this is our 1-year anniversary. Can you guys believe it's been a year since we released the first Scooby Panel?
No,
that's
it's crazy to think.
It is crazy to think that an entire year has gone by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And can we just appreciate that so many people will start a new project, and when they first start, they're completely passionate and gung-ho, and they really put their all into it. And within like a month or two, they're burnt out and they've kind of given up on what they were doing, or they've scaled it back like dramatically. Can we just have like a round of applause for Nikki, who has managed to like keep the same level of passion, drive, and doing the work for an entire year with like nothing slowing her down, and she is still ready to do like this next year. Like, bravo to that, because that is like an accomplishment that I feel like not very many people can boast. They're good for a little while, but then they're like, oh, this is too much work. I can't do this anymore. But yeah, no, here we are.
Well, you know, I started the Scooby panels because I really wanted to talk about Scooby-Doo. And we all know that if somebody isn't interested in Scooby, they don't want to talk about it. We have done these panels for a year and have had so much fun. Oh my gosh, seriously, these are the greatest things ever. We get to talk about Scooby-Doo. We have made some amazing friendships, and it's just been so great. It's been great. This is exactly what I was hoping the Scooby panels would be. Just a bunch of fans having fun talking about Scooby.
Yeah. To think where we started a year ago and to think where we are now. I mean, it's truly incredible. I mean, like, today, I mean, I went back from our very first, panel and just was scanning through, all of and I was just thinking, oh my gosh, we have so many fun memories. And you're right. I mean, if you think about the people that we have met and the people that we're going to continue to meet along the way as we keep on doing these panels. And, I've never been in a longer relationship than this panel. So I don't know why, but I feel like I need a ring on my, you know what? Give me a second. I'm gonna put my Scooby ring on because this is commitment, right? It doesn't fit. But the point is this is commitment. And so, yes, I love what Wendy said. Seriously, Nikki, thank you. Because it's true. When projects go up, some people start off gung-ho and then it just kind of goes down a little bit. So, but to think 1 year and we're still going strong. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
We've branched out a bit. It started with just talking about Scooby and different topics, and now we're doing interviews. We have met some amazing animators, and we've learned so much about what it was like to work at Hanna-Barbera, what it was like to be an animator, and just giving them a platform to tell their story is so important, because so many people don't know who they are, and they need to know who they are. These people created Scooby-Doo. If it wasn't for them, none of us would be fans of Scooby-Doo. So it's important for them to tell us their stories, to tell us about their careers. And I love every second of it. I love learning about the history of Scooby-Doo, and who better to tell us about that than the people that actually worked on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And even beyond Scooby himself, which this is so appropriate because, I mean, for a whole year, we have been telling people over and over how wonderful Scooby is and what a wholesome show it was. And we have proven with the people we've talked to that were actually there and know what they're talking about, that it was deliberate. Hanna-Barbera Studios, what they were doing, they were trying to do good. They were trying to make something that was good for the children and for adults, and they totally succeeded. It's why we're still talking about it. But beyond the Scooby aspect, these people that we have met have enriched our lives with life lessons like Scooby has done as well. James Tim Walker, one of the most inspiring people I've ever met in my life, would have never had the opportunity to meet him if not for Scooby Panel. And I am so blessed to know him now, to have heard his story. If you haven't watched that panel, go and watch that right now. Maybe not right now, wait till you're done this panel, but then put it on your short list. Go and watch the James Tim Walker panel. It's amazing, and everyone can get something out of that. But even the people that worked on it were wonderful, just like the show was. And that's why the show was so wonderful. We can see that now. We maybe were thinking that in the beginning, but now we have the proof because we've met so many of these people and they're just amazing. And wow, I never would have thought, if someone had said to me a year ago, you know, that project that Nikki asked you to come be on this one episode on, in another year, you will have met all of these people, you will have made all of these friends, and there's still, I'm excited to see what will come in the future, because the first year was already beyond anything that I think anyone could ever hope for. I can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah, we have some pretty exciting things coming up. So
Agreed.
for our 1-year anniversary, we're going to talk about our favorite moments from the past year. And one of my favorite moments was when Bob Singer came on the panel and he showed us all the concept art of the villains.
Yes.
And literally our jaws dropped. We were all just in awe that he was showing us this art, and it was amazing.
Like, in fact, I have some original pictures here of
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, those are amazing.
That's amazing.
there's
Oh
an
wow.
Iceman. These are all originals. I shouldn't have cut them out, but I did. I put them on a board.
Oh my goodness.
And there's another one. And this is this guy.
The wax phantom.
And then
Oh.
Oh, my favorite. She's my favorite. That's from my favorite episode out of all of the Scooby-Doos. Oh my
really,
gosh.
a pretty girl who's a witch. And then this guy.
Oh my goodness.
And
The star creature.
This man I'm looking at is a 50-foot seaweed monster.
Oh my
Here's Starman, and then here's this Tarman, I guess.
Oh, the tar monster.
Wow.
They're
Yeah.
amazing.
That's wonderful.
So this is the way I would do a drawing and then take it to the producer and say, what do you think of this? And in all these cases, he said, fine, yeah, go ahead and do it. So I would do a cleanup and do other turns.
One of Gerald's favorite moments was during panel number 20, when Cam told us what calf fries were. He chose that moment because it was funny, but mostly because we were all smiling and laughing. He said that was exactly what Bill and Joe wanted, for all of us to smile and laugh with their cartoons, and to know that after 50 years, Scooby is still bringing us lots of joy into our lives.
It's called calf fries. Has anybody heard of that? Okay, it's basically bull testicles, like fried up, and like yeah, and I know that's what the reaction I get from everybody.
Oh, wow.
I'm telling y'all this on camera. Oh dear God! But like it's normal here. They're all gonna just watch my followers like drop on Scooby-Doo Cameron Too after this panel gets released. But no, seriously, like it's really like you fry them up, people.
You know, I've heard of weirder things, so.
Oh my God.
So the moral of
Wendy
this
and
story
Cameron.
is never eat dinner at Cameron's house.
We're coming over.
You're coming over? No cat fries.
Yeah.
Hold on the cat fries.
Oh my God, I cannot look at Wendy when I'm doing
That's great.
Okay, my number one favorite Scooby panel moment from the last year. I don't think it actually made it into the panel video, so it's going to be a little bit of a bonus clip for everybody. But when we talked to Bob Nesler And in the panel, you got to see, I think, when he saw my Vincent Van Gogh crystal ball that I made, and that was amazing. Go watch that panel, please. But when we were done filming and he was asking about what each of us do for a living and things like that, and I mentioned that I was an artist and I had my Scooby's Clues painting here in the closet with me, and I got to show my artwork to Bob Nesler, and the way that he reacted is my #1 favorite Scooby panel moment, potentially maybe best moment of my life. It's possible. I work as a commission artist now, and I have for 15 years, and it is my dream.
That's so cool.
100%.
Doing painting?
I absolutely love it.
You're doing
so I paint now. Yes, I actually. Is it bad if I show Bob my painting?
No,
I was just gonna say.
see.
You have to show him your painting. It's amazing.
Hopefully, we won't get too much glare. But I just finished this Scooby-Doo painting a few months ago. But
oh, I love it. Look at it.
It's like all different props and things like that from various Scooby series and things. You know, there's the chest.
That demon
from
guy.
13
Yeah,
Ghosts.
that's what they opened, and all the ghosts
Yep.
came out.
Yeah.
Oh, look
So
at
that's
that.
the kind
You
of
got the
stuff
Vincent
that I
Price
do now.
crystal ball. Oh, that's wonderful. Look at that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is like, guys, this is like right this moment is like a highlight of my entire life. I don't even know what to say right now, Bob. Honestly,
That is so cool.
Wow.
You got
Hi, folks. My name is Ed Bridge, and yes, I'm Wendy Bridge's dad. The question's been asked, what's your favorite moment from all the various episodes of the Scooby Panel? And I have to say, there's a couple of them, but I could only find the one to put here so you could experience it as well. And I'll let it play out, and then we'll discuss why.
Wendy, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter or WordPress. I'm at Wendy Loves Jesus, or you can find me on Instagram. I'm at Wendy Bridge. It's Bridge with a Y. And if you're a Scooby fan, come and see the painting that I'm working on right now.
Ooh, and Wendy loves. Did you say Wendy Loves Jesus?
Yes.
Amen.
Yes, on both WordPress and on Twitter. But yes.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love. Someone's calling in. Look at this real quick. Remember this one, Nikki?
So Wendy's channel name over on Twitter is Wendy Loves Jesus. And I have to admit that Mr. Innis, he impressed me with his inclusion of his comment. You have to remember that we deal here on YouTube and these panels and such in a public realm. And a man who's not ashamed to express his, what is the word? His pleasure in being in the presence of others who believe as he believes. Those kind of people impress me. I wish there were more people in the world who were eager to give glory to God. You know, to give glory to God is a charge to tell the truth. And of course we know that Father God is truth. His Spirit is unconditional love. And his Son Jesus is God himself in form. Yeah, God's a Trinity. He has a form of his very own. So Wendy Loves Jesus. Honey, you make me proud too. God bless y'all. Love you. Bye.
So mine's more of a funny one, and some people say, "Oh, that's inappropriate." But there was a moment from the bloopers where Nikki has a Scooby chest in the back, like a Scooby-Doo chest where you open it, right? Well, I remember when I hopped on the panel, you know, I was a little nervous just because we were going to be doing, you know, some cool stuff on the panel. So I was like, oh, okay. And so I was like, can you just make a compliment to everybody? And I was like, Nikki, I really love your chest, you know, and of course we just all stop, and it is just the most awkward silence that you could ever imagine in your life. And then finally Wendy goes, just to be clear, you're talking about her Scooby chest in the back. And I'm like, oh my God, this woman's married. I don't mean the chest right here. I'm like, your Scooby chest. Your Scooby chest is what I love. So to this day, I'm very careful when I'm like, oh, my mom's like, can I pick up this chest? And I'm like, this chest you open. Yes. Okay. Because I have to be more specific. So that is one of my favorite. It's a funny one, but I loved it the most because we were laughing. You know, guys, when we get on these panels, we laugh, we have fun, and that's what I enjoyed most about that clip. So. And then, like, when Nikki talks, I look at her chest and I'm like, my God, I want that so bad. Then I'm like, Cameron, focus.
Okay, let's the chest behind you with the Scooby on it. Let's rephrase that, Cam.
No, first I'm like,
Nikki.
what?
I'm sorry.
Look at my camera and I'm like,
oh my God. I meant your like Scooby chest, not, you know, Scooby chest where you put things in.
Oh, man.
My favorite Nikki moment from the Scooby-Doo panel would have to be from the earlier episodes where she made the statements that she almost didn't start the Scooby-Doo panel. She didn't think she was confident enough, or she didn't have the skills. She felt she was an introvert, and she was shy, and she didn't want to really do the effort to moderate things. She thought she might screw up, or she might be a whole disaster because you're involving all these people. But wow, am I glad you started the panel, Nikki, because you are the perfect person to be doing this. You have the perfect skills. You're not, you might be introverted in person or whatnot, but I don't think you are as a personality. I think you have a lot to say, and it's always great to hear your opinions, and you always make some great statements, and they're always from the heart, and that's something it's always amazing. And you share so much of other people's content too. And you've introduced me to a lot of new people in the Scooby-Doo community. And I'm so glad you started this panel. And when you think about Scooby-Doo, it's exactly kind of the same journey Nikki had. It's about breaking out of your comfort zone. It's about doing something that, you know, might have scared you. When we look at Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, if they didn't go in those haunted houses, we wouldn't have any episodes of Scooby-Doo. It'd just be like, okay, the Mystery Machine turns around, goes to the malt shop, and the gang are forgotten forever. So, Nikki, very happy you started the Scooby-Doo panel. And I'm very looking forward to what you have to offer in 2022 for the next year.
The biggest problem for me was I was afraid to actually do it because I'm shy. I don't really like to talk to new people, and I don't like to be the center of attention. So it took a lot for me to actually start doing the panels, and I'm super excited that I did. Like, this has been the best thing that seriously I could have ever done. My second favorite moment was when we had Handmade by Robots on, and Justin did the live draw of the Vincent van Gogh figure. That was amazing. Such an awesome experience for us to be a part of. I mean, how many times do you get to be a part of something where the toy company is creating something in front of you? It's so cool. And it's even cooler that they're going to be making that figure. So we'll definitely be on the lookout for that.
I'm going to ask her about that
I'm
again.
sorry. I shouldn't have just asked you like that. Like, do you like
No, I love it. I love Johnny Quest. I've been trying to get Johnny Quest. Let's see. This is my master list of Warner Brothers properties, so we'll see if it's on here. So Justin, what are you doing over there?
So I kind of, before I do a real rough, almost do like a pre-rough where I just try to get a feel for what the what the character looks like, you know, his expressions, and then I'll take this and I'll turn it into you know, see what I'm talking about. I can't even speak while I'm doing the thing, but
So Cameron, here is the only Hanna-Barbera, and I have them all from that are available to actually do 3D characters of. It's Scooby-Doo Core, Scoob 2020, which I'm not even sure what that is, Tom and Jerry Core, Flintstones Core, Jetsons, Thundercats, and Wacky Races. Those are the only Hanna-Barbera. And then of course I have Looney Tunes Core. So I have all the Looney Tunes stuff as well.
Here. And I will say real quick, you said Scoob. Scoob is the 2020 movie that came out for Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
So they're probably talking about that, just letting you know. But yeah, no, I mean, even if you can't do Johnny Quest in those, I mean, still, I mean, it's pretty cool that you guys get so many properties. That's neat.
Yeah, Warner Brothers is an interesting, but each licensor does it differently. But Warner Brothers, they were like, look, we like these so much, we're going to give you everything we can. So they gave me basically every property they could. Now I've recently gone back and added Peacemaker, the TV show, because one of our retailers wants to do Peacemaker and then his little buddy Eagly. So I had to get the license for the TV show because Eagly's in the TV show. I'm picking up Ted Lasso. Don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I think that show's so amazing. Anyway,
it's a good show.
You guys are all just watching Justin draw, I think, as I
amazing. It's amazing.
It is, yeah.
It already looks like him.
Yeah.
So
And that's one of the
God.
interesting thing about our figures is just with a few lines and the eyebrows and the mouth, he makes it look like the real person, you know?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's so cool how he split it in half and then just duplicated it and put it together. I mean, whoa, that's pretty stinking cool.
And then if I want, I could do something more with his hand, but this would be considered like my pre-rough, and then I would take that and I guess drop the here. I would drop the opacity. Come on, of that, and then that lets me go over the top of this and then clean that up and get it looking how I actually want it to look. Which once I finish my roughs, I'll take my actual pen tool and do a nice job. But I like to spend a little bit of time on the roughs, just getting it just exactly like I want it.
And a lot of times, you know, if it's a character we're not sure about, he'll shoot me and Andrea, my project manager, this image and say, what do you think? And we'll, you know, I would say 99 times out of 100, we're like, oh my God, we love it. You know, or we might go, hey, put his hand up in the air or whatever. So, you know, Justin, you know, these roughs help us all kind of decide where we're headed.
Yep.
And we have standardized eyes that we use. So, you know, that all the figures look the same. That was a learning experience, the eyes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to overtalk you.
Oh no, wait, we both started at the same time. I was just you guys get the idea though. This is pretty much that's pretty much what I do as far as I go with the roughs usually. So
oh,
Looks
man.
amazing.
It looks so good.
Even in his rough form.
Now, Mary, would you guys ever consider doing something in the pup named Scooby-Doo realm? There's not a lot of collectibles for a pup named Scooby-Doo, and there are some very cool looking villains, as well as obviously the gang is children who look quite different from our typical gang. But I know Cameron would also love a pup named Scooby-Doo merch. So
let me see if I have that.
Mary, I'm just going to tell you, I'm probably going to have to sell my kidneys if you're going to keep on doing Scooby-Doo to keep importing all these figures because they're so good. They're so good.
Don't sell your kidneys. I'll get you a gift certificate. I don't think I have that part of the license. I'd have to do a deep dive into. So the interesting thing about one of the good things about the Warner Brothers site with all the art is if I don't have access, if I don't have that on my contract and I go look up something, it'll tell me, hey, you don't have access to that. Instead of because, you know, we have so many, instead of going down the rabbit hole, we're going to make this figure, and then we can't find the art, and 3 days later, oh yeah, can't make that. We've actually drawn a few figures that we weren't supposed to make.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Definitely
It's
does.
difficult to get the license. Like if you say you would want to do a pup named Scooby-Doo.
Warner Brothers would probably be pretty easy because they're really excited about all the stuff we're doing that's more not so mainstream, including even though Scooby-Doo to me is considered mainstream, they're just, most of their licensees are, you know, all over DC Comics and some of that stuff. So, which, you know, we do a lot of too, but yeah, they're always looking to expand, especially the people who are the managers of those specific brands. They're excited to expand, you know, their property, which is the Scooby-Doo property.
Right.
But yeah, everything's got to have a license. Everything's got to be signed on the dotted line. All that good stuff. Look how good he looks. That's amazing.
He looks amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Wow.
Now, can he have a smoking cat with him, Justin? Do you think you could put my famous smoking cat next to him?
You really want your smoking cat on there? I don't know. That's your specialty, Mary.
Yeah, that is my specialty. But one of the toy fairs, Justin came to Toy Fair with us with our old company many times, and he would try to teach me to draw, and it never went well. Never went well.
Yeah, I'm not too happy with, I guess, what's going on with the eyebrows. I'd probably end up playing with it quite a bit more because he looks a little weird right there right now. But you get the idea. That's pretty much the playing part for me.
Wow.
There you
That
go.
was really cool.
was incredible.
Thank you for
Thank
doing
you very
that.
much.
My favorite episode of the Scooby panel would be the one with Anita Rogers because I like to learn how she made the Hallmark ornaments.
I work with my art director, and we also have to work with Warner Brothers in coming up with the concepts to do, and they have a style guide, and sometimes I'll go through their style guide and look for situations, and sometimes I will just make up situations like the Christmas situations. If there's nothing like that in the style guide, I can just make something up, and that's how we basically come up with it. Every once in a while we do something that's just straight out of the style guide, like a drawing that's a perfect situation for an ornament, and other times it's made up. But regardless whether it's out of their style guide or if it's made up, it's got to look exactly like Scooby. So it's quite an approvals process we had to go through.
And how much creative freedom do you have in the designs?
Well, none with Scooby himself, but with whatever he's got with him, like if it's a big ornament or whatever. They pretty much don't say anything about, and like the cookies or the gingerbread house or whatever it is he's playing with or doing, they don't ever say anything about that stuff. It's just they pick on Scooby himself. And if there's someone else with him, like Shaggy or one of the villains or whatever, they might say something about them, but not as much. It's usually just Scooby that they pick on.
My second favorite moment is also a funny one, like Cam's was. So this is from panel 18, our New Year's Q&A. And someone wrote in and asked us each, if we had our own mystery, what would it be about? And I was the only one that was prepared with an actual story, but on the fly, after listening to Cam try to piece together something, which I'm sorry, but Cameron, nobody's watching that mystery. But my second favorite panel moment is the story that I wrote for Cam that involves Cameron's favorite creature on the entire planet, the beautiful armadillo, featuring some amazing top-notch artwork by Nikki Blake herself, armadillos, a cornfield, guns, and some matches. because I feel like I could write Cam's mystery.
Oh, please do. Please. I feel like you two could write it for me.
Cam's mystery is about a mysterious cornfield. A cornfield that is infested with armadillos.
All right, I'm logging out. I'll talk to y'all later.
And Scooby and the gang, Scooby and the gang have to rescue Cam because while he was out farming and feeding his cattle, this damn gang of armor-plated armadillos toting guns kidnap Cam and they drag him into the cornfield.
Oh, I'm
But
starting
the
to cry.
cornfield is a giant corn maze. So he's lost. He's lost in the corn maze. And Scooby and the gang have to go through the corn maze to try and find Cam before the armadillos burn him at the stake. Okay, so there's Cam's story. Now that we've got that ironed out.
Hey, Devin Smith here from Awesome Thanks. So I've been thinking about my favorite memory from any of the panels over the course of the last year, just watching them and ones I've been on personally, and it was really tough picking a favorite. I picked two things, and one of them is from a panel that I was never even on, and it's the Scott Innis interview. And one, I loved it because just seeing Scott's collection, all his Scooby memorabilia, and hearing his stories from over the years, absolutely incredible. Two, it was an interview, and I don't even know if I remember hearing a single question asked during that interview, but just hearing Scott talk and tell his stories for the whole thing was absolutely incredible, and I absolutely loved it.
God, I'm acting like this is my show. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. This panel is the Scott. I have hijacked this panel tonight.
I actually do
And,
want to just do the intro real quick and then.
Well, no, Nikki, you just shut up. This is my show. Listen to me talk. I can talk. I can talk all night long. And this is what we got.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's
so cool.
I love
And then
that.
he painted
That
it
is
gold.
awesome.
Scrappy-Doo, I'm just going to tell you, in my opinion, Scrappy-Doo is as popular as Scooby-Doo is, period. Whether you hate him or love him, he is a monster part of the franchise. Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
And my second pick is is a very broad favorite memory or moment. Is anytime Cam says that something is stinking cool. I don't know why, but I absolutely love it. I don't hear people say things are stinking cool very often, and just hearing him say that always makes me laugh every time. He's awesome. So yeah,
Oh
those
my
are
goodness, Nikki, this is like
So stinking cool. So stinking cool.
So yeah, those are some of my personal favorite memories off the dome. But I just wanted to also say thank you for including me in the panels over the last year. It's been really amazing being a part of a handful of them and getting to be involved in the Scooby-Doo community a little bit more. And yeah, just thank you for having me. It's been a real treat. Thank you. It's been real stinking cool.
Well, my second favorite moment is a little bit of a heartfelt one. So it came from our Q&A episode where people sent in questions for us to answer. And I forget who it was, and I do apologize, but someone did send in a question asking how the three of us met. And we all talked about it, and I love it because even though we have amazing other guests pop up on the show, the three of us, when we work together, I don't know, it's special. I consider you two to be my very, very close friends. I love y'all. And I love when we get to retell that story of how we met. And we met through the love of Scooby-Doo, and we come together and we work well together. And I don't know, just going back and watching that clip, it was a lot of fun, because the three of us, we stuck together over this whole year, whether it was, we had some tough ups and downs and, like any team does, but we always pull together. And I don't know, I think we make a really, really good team. So getting to hear how we came together, and for everybody that got to hear that story, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
We all met online. Wendy and I first started following each other on Twitter. And we really didn't talk very much at the beginning. Couple conversations here and there, but it was more, oh, do you know where I can find this? Or did you know about this? But we really didn't start talking a lot until probably when we started discussing doing the panels.
Yeah.
And then Cameron, I believe we first started following each other on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. It's when I first joined Scooby-Doo and Cameron Too. But I think we talked a little bit before I think I joined. I don't know. I'm not too sure, but I knew you and me got to know each other a whole lot better when we started working with Scott on his page and when he did his live. So
yeah. So Cameron and I talked a little bit more before the panels than Wendy and I did, but yeah, the panels have been awesome. They brought us together. Scooby brought us together, and I just think it's amazing.
With Wendy, there's always some great moments, and there's great moments with everyone, of course. But my favorite Scooby-Doo panel moments involving Wendy usually begin with a warning from Wendy. And I'm going to paraphrase Wendy. This isn't exactly what she says, but she says something along the lines of, before I go on, I should probably explain. And it's at that moment I pause my YouTube channel or YouTube video and I go make a cup of tea, because I know when I come back, I'm going to get 20 minutes of just pure Wendy going off on something she either loves or dislikes, and it's always brilliant. And Wendy is not a fence sitter like me. Wendy is I'm going to die on this hill kind of personality in her panel moments. And it's always fantastic. It's always entertaining, or it's always just touching as well when she's being super passionate about something. But my favorite standout moment where you could see an example of this would be the relationship panel, where Wendy discusses her dislike, and she worded it far more strongly than I did, but her dislike of Crystal and Amber. That statement goes against, I would assume, popular opinion among the Scooby-Doo community. I'm not sure. I just see a lot of, people who love those characters in Crystal and Amber, but Wendy is not one of them. And it was just a very funny statement. And it was also a statement I agreed with. I really didn't care about those characters either. I don't like relationships in Scooby-Doo. I'm kind of old school with my like of Scooby-Doo. But I can see how other people would love those characters. But yeah, that was just a very funny moment. I'm still laughing about it to this day.
I hate Amber and Crystal. That whole angle, I don't know, guys. I hate it. Look at Cam's face. I'm sorry, Cam. I am sorry.
Well, I gotta flip this table. Excuse me.
Remember that meme where it was like, we're going to revoke your Scooby card based on a controversial opinion? And that's an opinion I revoked your card for.
Oh my gosh. When they flew off, I was like cheering. I'm like, thank you, Lord. Get the hell out of here. I was so done with that. I am sorry, guys, but she was so annoying. I wanted to slap her and be like, stop talking. Why are there words coming out of your mouth? I do not like you. I hated every second. Look at everyone's face. I'm so sorry, but honestly,
hang on real quick, Wendy. Here's my heart. Let me just squeeze it a little bit harder. Why don't you?
And I'm sorry, but when they were singing that song, I wanted to like stab myself in the face. I'm like, what is this?
Oh,
I almost said something Nikki was gonna have to bleep, but I caught myself. I even just thinking about it now, like it's making me angry. Just thinking about it, like I have probably only seen that movie once or twice because I don't want to see it. It was that bad for me. That whole, and which is weird because honestly, like I will watch anything alien related, Roswell, like I love that kind of stuff, UFOs, I'm totally there. That movie, because of Amber and Crystal, like I won't. There's that, everyone loves that animation cell, that special one that they did of like the wedding. And it's all like psychedelic colors and everything. Guys, I hate it. I hate it. If someone gave it to me, I would take it outside and use it for target practice. I'm sorry. I can't with that. I don't know what it is, but I just detest it with every fiber of my being. I'm so sorry.
And my last favorite moment was when we talked to Burnett Griffey, and she told us that the gang were modeled after people that worked at Hanna-Barbera. And how cool is that, that they were actually modeled after real people from the studio that the show was made in? I mean, it was perfect.
Okay. Favorite moment for me from the panel was when Burnett was talking about who the models were for the gang, and it's just so interesting that it was the people, you know, that were around the people doing the work that that happened for, and that just makes it all the better, the kind of roots it had in real life. And that was just a really nice panel overall, and very happy to have heard it.
And you had said that Velma was modeled after you. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, it was kind of, you know, it was the studio life then was very, very comfortable. It was very, very easy, very fun. You know, it was a lot of extremely talented people, And, you know, I was just a kid for one thing, but I came from the West Side, which is down by the beach. I was a beach kid. And a lot of the other people I was working with were Valley kids, Valley people, and a little more sophisticated, of course, because they were older than I was. And I hung out with my friends. We hung out at the coffee houses on Venice Beach. And it was the time of the Beatles, between the Beatles and the coffee houses and, you know, that sort of thing. We weren't old enough to go into the coffee houses because there was liquor there. So, but we hung out we hung out on the boardwalk at night. So we looked like we did, you know, that kind of thing. And it just kind of came, you know, in the middle 60s, that was the deal. That was the costume, let's say. And so I had the turtleneck and my glasses, which I have, but they're all in storage. I kept them. And that was and we wore the leggings, you know, that sort of thing. But the older women, it wasn't really acceptable to wear pants at work. Although it was such a laid back place, it just, you know, societally, I guess, it wasn't, you know, the time that women were wearing pants to work yet. There were, you know, Disney especially was kind of strict about that at the time, but Hanna-Barbera was kind of lax and didn't, you know, I never got yelled at or, you know, told not to wear it or whatever like that. And they just say, oh, she's just a kid, you know, that kind of thing. And so there was another girl, her name was Joanna Ramireza. She was a little about 10 years older than I was, but she was just this tall blonde girl with, you know, beautiful hair, beautiful figure. And she was very attractive and just the sweetest, damnedest sweetest person I've ever met. She's still around. She was Daphne. And Fred was a cameraman. He was this tall, blonde, good looking, all the girls had a crush on him. And, you know, he was like a, you know, the fireman, you know, this kind of guy. But he was very shy and very low key and whatever like that. But he was a cameraman. And then Shag was our stockroom guy. He was the cell puncher, the animation paper puncher, the passed out the mail, and whatever people needed from the stockroom, he ran it up.
My favorite Cameron moment would have to be earlier on in the Scooby panel. He discussed how Scooby-Doo works because it balances lightness and darkness. And I thought that was just an amazing statement that Cameron made. And it's so true. Like the best episodes, they have an equal combination of darkness and lightness. If you take away the comedy, Scooby-Doo isn't as great. And if you take away the mystery and the villains, it's still good, but it's the best episodes have the balance of both. So I want to thank Cameron for making that statement. He just, you know, provided me with a new way of looking at Scooby-Doo.
because, you know, when you're throwing in monsters and stuff like that, you think, oh, it's going to be scary. No, they could balance the evil monsters, yet still keep it pure and clean. So incorporated. They balanced that cartoon so well, where you took dark elements, but yet still kept it pure and kept the light in there, and it balanced out so well. It was such a great series. It was one of my that Scooby-Doo balances dark and light very well. Mm-hmm. And I love how y'all balance light and dark within the art styles that y'all did.
My third and final favorite panel moment of the last year, from the special edition panel, Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog, where it's the three of us and we're having a chat about the movie that's about to come out. And Cameron was unable to film at home that day, but Cam was prepared with a very cute stuffed Scooby-Doo in the back of his truck, which he proceeded to sit there and stroke very lovingly like a real dog for the entire panel. Jesus. And it was amazing.
By the way, y'all, for y'all watching, you're like, where am I? I am sitting in the back of my truck. I am not home, so I'm not my Scooby studio. So I'm sorry. I'm just here with my stuffed Scooby speaking to y'all. But yeah, no, I'm excited. You know, I watched Courage a little bit here and there when I was younger. You know, of course, it wasn't, you know, he wasn't my Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo was just everything to me. It was my #1 cartoon as a kid. But voice, you know, characters of Courage Cowardly Dog, and you know, he's coming back to do this. I think that's pretty exciting. You know what I mean? You got Frank Welker, who's voicing Scooby and Fred. You got this guy's coming in who's voicing Courage the Cowardly Dog. And so, you know, I think it's going to be really cool to see how this all comes together.
Yeah.
It's
so
funny to bring that up, Nikki, because when I saw the cicadas in there, and when Velma was like, these are such large cicadas, or these are such oversized cicadas. My first thought was, wait a minute, we got an episode with cicadas. And then I like went back and I was like, oh yeah, Mystery Incorporated, when the cicada calls. So it's funny that you're bringing that up.
Gerald had brought up several other great moments from the panels, but one that stood out was when Lance Falk talked about beating up a gang member while he was dressed as Huckleberry Hound. Gerald said it was a moment when we all wished we could have held up scorecards when Lance did his kung fu moves on a homie.
There was a mall, there's still a mall, it's one of the biggest in the world, called the Delamo Mall. And while it's itself in a nice neighborhood, it's adjacent to East LA, which is real gang infested hellhole kind of area. And so the mall would get a lot of, I guess you'd call gang kids, and a lot of trouble there in the mall. And so the cops would go around 2 by 2, you know, with big guns. And one day I was there at the mall wearing a Huckleberry Hound costume, you know, in front of the store, running around. And my friend Joanne Miller was doing Betty Rubble. And Huck had a pretty loose, baggy suit with giant foam feet, but a hard fiberglass helmet. So I was just sitting there, and these guys, these gang members, peeled around behind me, but towards Betty, but on the way, one of them cracked me in the back of the head, like as really hard. And it was like a fiberglass helmet. It just rang like a bell, like a cartoon. And I just had this moment, you know, and then I saw these guys heading for Betty. And before I could even think about it, because, you know, that moment when you're smacked and you tense up and you don't think, I saw them heading for Betty. And right now I'm like 60 and I'm overweight. Then I was like 22 and I was slim and fit and took judo and all this stuff. So I saw these guys heading towards Betty and I screamed, hey! And by the time the guys turned around and they almost got her and they were reaching for her, I was up to a good run and I jumped in the air and I planted my rubber foot about that big right in the middle of the guy's chest. And these are like tattooed gangbangers, you know, and I sent his ass down the freshly waxed floor of this shopping mall, spinning, you know, just whoa, 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 whoa. And his friends are rushing after him. And as I hit him with my whole weight with his giant foot, like boom, like right there. So it'd be like getting hit with a bag or something.
My third and final moment that I loved throughout this year was when we actually got to talk to the one and only Scott Innis. For those of you who don't know, he was the voice of Shaggy, Scooby-Doo, and Scrappy throughout the Scooby-Doo franchise through a moment in time. And I love how he got to talk to us, tell us about, how he voiced Scooby-Doo, just the stories and everything. But one cool part was when he actually told us, we as a community, we always hated that when people said, oh, Shaggy's a stoner and they Scooby-Doo and all of them do drugs. And so Scott did the voice of Shaggy, and he said through the voice of Shaggy that Shaggy is not man, I'm not a stoner. So that was a cool moment, and it was actually an honor to talk to Scott. So
yeah.
As someone who voiced Shaggy, what are your thoughts on people calling Shaggy a stoner?
Well, I'll just tell you in Shaggy's voice, man, I gotta tell you, we're no more stoners than we are loners. I have to tell you, man, right now, we just love to eat, dude. There's nothing wrong with eating. We love to eat. You don't have to smoke dope to want to eat. We just love to eat. Right, Scoob? Yeah. So yeah, it's all fake. They were great, wholesome characters and voiced by wholesome, great people. So.
Hey everyone, it's Joel from Planet Scooby, and my favorite moment on the Scooby panel so far would have to be the Bob Singer episode. Just seeing this incredible talent being interviewed by all of you on the panel and answering your amazing questions and telling his own stories was just amazing. It was that's something I've watched many times. It was just a great episode. All the episode panels that you do are great, but this one, I think for everyone, was a highlight. We have a living legend, no one's getting any younger. So it's great. We're hearing many of these legends' stories before it's too late, right? And this is something that's suffered on many of the DVDs that have come out. The special features haven't been great. These should have been on the DVDs decades ago, and it hasn't happened. And it's great that we have YouTube and Nikki and all the Scooby Panel's efforts to bring this information to light. However, my favorite part of that episode would have to be all of your faces. Everyone was just lit up and super excited and just glowing. And I had the same expression on my face watching the panel. And it was like literally just watching someone watch Scooby-Doo for the first time, because you're just being bombarded with all this cool information and innocence and just great Scooby-Doo content.
Bob, it's an honor to have you here. We are so excited to be able to talk to you. I can't even tell you how nervous I've been all day. So this is great.
I'm happy to see all of you too. I mean, it's a wonderful subject, Scooby-Doo. We all love Scooby.
Yes,
I'm ready to answer any questions you have. I was there 27 years, and I had the time of my life drawing pictures all day.
That's great.
Wonderful.
Those were just a few of our favorite clips and our favorite moments from the past year of the Scooby panels. And we still can't believe that it's been a year, but we've had some really great moments. We've made some really great memories.
Yeah, it's really hard to top getting to do something like with your friends, and I think maybe that's the best part of doing Scooby Panel, is that in real life, the three of us are really good friends. It's not just something that we put on for the camera. Like we're actually very good friends in real life. And so to get to come together and do something that's already really fun, but you get to do it with like your best friends is like so much better. It just like takes it right over the top to where you're super excited when it's time to film, and you're even excited for the filming part to end, because even after we film like a 2.5, 3 hour panel, there's like a 99.9% chance that the three of us are going to stay on and talk for at least another hour. I mean, it just happens because we're having such a good time together, and like you can't beat that. It's great. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, getting it to do this with you guys, all of these wonderful people that we've met and the cool people that we get to talk to and the things that we've learned. I mean, but at the end of the day, to get to like hang out with your friends and do the thing that the three of you love pretty much the most. Like that's the real favorite moment for me, I think, of the whole past year, was getting to do this with you guys.
I have to agree that being able to share all of this with you guys has been amazing, because I know that you love it just as much as I do. You know, you're not just coming on here and going through the motions. Like, you truly love talking about Scooby-Doo. You love talking to the people that we've been talking to. And it just makes it so much better to be able to do the panels with you guys.
I truly love what y'all said. And, you know, another thing too is it's true. You've got to love who you work on camera with and off camera with, and that we get it along. I love that. You know, I never imagined in all my years of collecting and loving and just everything I get to do with Scooby-Doo, I never imagined I would find a community that that I got to connect, you know, the Scooby community. I got to connect with them, and then finally, you know, met Nikki, then I met Wendy, and then we came together and we got to do this amazing panel. We've met people that have had their hands dipped in Scooby-Doo for over 50 years. We've met people in the community that are long time Scooby-Doo lovers and collectors and fans. And we've also met people along the way too that, you know, have, you know, I never knew what they did with Scooby-Doo. You know, I never knew that they were connected to Scooby-Doo, and they were, and it was really neat and really cool. So the friendships, the, you know, the stories, you know, being able to hop on here. Another good thing too is that this panel, we are so relaxed, and I love that because we get to be ourselves. We get to be our true, authentic selves, and we get to come on here and you know, Nikki has always said this, and I feel like it's been a big bow that just kind of wraps everything up within our Scooby-Doo career. I call our Scooby-Doo careers for our Scooby-Doo panels, but you know, it's hard to always talk about something you love that, you know, when not everybody's passionate about the same thing. But when you get to plug into a community like the Scooby-Doo community, you're surrounded by people that love Scooby-Doo, because let's all face it, Scooby-Doo is a loving cartoon dog, and he brings so much joy, not only to kids, but to, you know, 3 groovy people on this panel, you know, and people all over the world. So to be able to talk about a dog that brings so many people together just through mysteries and love and just everything that comes with it, it's truly been amazing. And just to think 1 year, we're probably gonna be looking back within 5 years and saying, hey, look at our, you know, the 5th year anniversary, our 10th year anniversary, you know, God forbid. So, but it's been fun. So I've enjoyed this.
You know, I originally decided to record these as doing the Scooby panel because I thought, you know, we love talking about Scooby-Doo, and maybe people will be interested in hearing what we have to say. And it's just, I've gotten so much great feedback from people, and people are really loving the panels. They love watching them. They think that we have a great chemistry together. And it's so awesome to get this positive feedback from people who are really enjoying it. And, you know, hopefully we can get some more people to come on the panels that are in the community, some more people that can share their opinions, that, you know, or do a food panel. Those are always fun. But, you know, I love that the community is getting together to come on the panels, and, you know, we're having a great time. Every panel we've done has been a great time. Like Wendy said, our recordings are usually 4 hours. So we definitely have a good time.
Yeah. And if you're someone that is watching right now, or you've watched even just one of the panels, like, thank you. Thank you for coming and joining us. And if you leave a comment, or you leave a like, or you have anything to say, whether it's in public or it's to one of us privately, thank you. That is definitely the cherry on top of an already really awesome Sunday, when we see other people that want to interact and that are enjoying what we're talking about or what we're doing, and they share their own thoughts and opinions. I'm pretty sure that Nikki will second this. If anyone wants to chime in with their favorite moments of the last year of the panel, leave a comment below the video. We would love to know what everyone's favorites are and what you have enjoyed. But yeah, thank you for joining us in our love for Scooby, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. We all love that big old scaredy cat dog just to pieces.
Kind of to go off what you said, Wendy, you're right. Thank you guys so much. And thank y'all for all the love, support you guys have shown us, for, sharing the videos, liking the videos, commenting on the videos, talking about it with your friends, sharing it, word of mouth. We appreciate it all. And I also want to say something too. Me and Wendy have been very blessed to be on these panels, but a big thanks to Nikki, though. She's the one that creates these videos. She's the one that edits these videos. She pours her heart and soul into these videos. So while me and Wendy are very blessed to be on here, we want to do special thanks to Nikki. Seriously, without her, these wouldn't be possible. So also too, down below, like Wendy said, we'd love to hear what your favorite moments are, but just give Nikki a thanks, send her a message, just tell her how much she's appreciated, because there wouldn't be a Scooby community without Nikki Blake.
That's right. And that goes far beyond the Scooby panel videos, because Nikki has been at this a lot longer than the last year. The last year is just when the Scooby panel happened, but a decade plus prior to this, Nikki has been sharing a love of Scooby and gathering people together to hopefully have a like mind. We all love Scooby. Let's talk about it. Let's share our collections. Let's talk about the people that helped make it. Nikki's all over the place. Nikki's on Twitter. Nikki shares Scooby history. She shares birthdays and anniversaries and all of these things. She makes sure that everyone that was involved gets as much love as we can possibly give them. And the Scooby panel has just been another avenue where that's exactly what she has done. A special thank you to Nikki, and as well to all of the people, Bob Singer, Bob Nesler, Ruth and Vernette, Anita, who was such a sweet thing, does all the Hallmark Scooby-Doos, all of these amazing people that have come on the panels too. Like, thank you for giving of your time to come and share your stories with us. Like that, please know how much we appreciate that. We do not take that for granted. Thank you, Nikki, because this would never have been anything I could have dreamed I could do, is meet these people and hear these stories firsthand from them. James Tim Walker, all of these amazing people, like, thank you for coming and spending time with us, giving of your time. We truly, truly appreciate it. And we love you for giving us Scooby and all of the other wonderful shows that you've worked on. Never doubt your worth in the world, because you are the unsung heroes. I think that we've all talked before on different panels about how, whether it was when we were young or now that we're older, Scooby is something that is a constant, and it's a positive thing. And when you're having a really crappy day, you can put on an episode of Scooby-Doo and you just immediately feel better. And for that 20 some minutes, you can forget about whatever the problem is and just enjoy yourself. And without all of you making that happen, we wouldn't have that. And so you have definitely given more than any of us could ever give back to you. Thank you for all of your hard work over the years. And some of you are you're still at it. You're still making wonderful animation related things, art and things like that, so that people can enjoy it. And that's really special. And we're very sorry that over the years that you haven't got the recognition that you deserve, but Nikki's here to tell you, as long as we're here and as long as she is here, we'll find a way to make sure that people know your names and that you get some kind of a thank you, because you're certainly getting one from us. I think that any Scooby panel video that Nikki has put together that has had one of these amazing people, animators and such on it, it is just a big love letter to Hanna-Barbera and Scooby and all of the people. A lot of them have passed on now. You're no less important, and we love you all, and you have changed our lives, and for the better, and you continue to do so. And I think honestly, in another 50 years, you'll still be doing that. So in a way, Scooby's kind of immortal, but so are you for working on it, because we certainly will not forget you, and we're going to do what we can to make sure that everybody else remembers you as well, because it's the least that you deserve for giving something so amazing to the whole world. Millions and millions and millions of children who grow into adults, who have their own children, but who also keep enjoying it themselves. Like that is something that not a lot of people get to do in their life, that they can boast that, you know, I touched that many people's lives in such a positive way. But all of the people that worked on Scooby-Doo, all of the people who worked at Hanna-Barbera, you guys did that. And for that, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You mean the absolute world to us, and we just love all of you so much.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And, you know, it's been amazing to have these people come on. It's been amazing to talk to them. Just to think that they're giving us their time is sometimes unbelievable. But it's been great. And I hope we can continue to do interviews and bring more people on and let them tell their stories, because people do need to know who they are. We all need to know the people that worked on Scooby-Doo.
Agreed.
For all of you that have watched a panel, for any of you that have been on a panel, thank you all so much. We really appreciate the support. We appreciate having people come on and give us their opinions, because you know that we love talking about Scooby-Doo, so we're sure you probably do too, and you probably have a hard time finding people to talk about Scooby-Doo with, so we are always here. Wendy, Cameron, thank you guys so much for giving me your time. You guys have been on almost every panel, and you know our recordings are 4 hours, so you guys are giving me a lot of your time. And I really, really appreciate it. I love doing these panels with you guys. And I just feel so blessed that you guys wanted to do this with me, to keep doing it. And, you know, I'm excited to see where the future goes.
Yes. Yeah, me too. Me too. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
It's been fun.
Yeah. So this has been our 1-year anniversary, and we hope that you guys join us for more and join us for what's to come. We are going to have some exciting episodes coming up in the next year. 2022 to 2023 is going to be just as fun. So thank you guys all for joining us for Scooby Panels, and we'll see you again next time.
Happy anniversary.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you for tuning in to another Scooby panel. I'm Nikki Blake from ScoobyAddicts.com. If you like these panels, please subscribe to my channel for more great discussions. A very special thank you to artist, blogger, and Scooby collector Wendy BRYDGE and Cameron Bates from Scooby-Doo and Cameron Too. I also want to thank Joel, Wendy's dad Mr. BRYDGE, Gerald, Devin, Trevor, and Jordan for letting us know their favorite moments from the panels. And a huge thank you to everyone who has tuned in to the panels over the past year. We really appreciate it. Scooby and Shaggy were voiced by Scott Innis. Check out Scott's website, onescottshop.com. Scooby Panel is available in podcast form on most podcast platforms, or as a web series on YouTube. If you would like to support the Scooby Panel, please go to patreon.com/ScoobyAddicts. Scooby Addicts artwork by Will Davenport. Video editing by Nikki Blake. Music composed and performed by Bovine Nightmares. Please join us next time for another Scooby Panel.